you're saying?
Yes, fire. We are some man. Give thanks to life as usual, and we are saying, no? And we just know that life is the greatest, and we have to celebrate it.
Big time fire. What we reasoning about today?
Yeah, and it's a joy if you know, say we really give the people this direct reasoning right now. We are reasoning about Rasta and Resistance because we realize a lot of people talk about Rastafari, the movement, not even just Haile Selassie direct, the movement. Enough neglect the whole resistance aspect of the thing, and it's cause a lot of confusion. So I feel like this reasoning is the perfect reasoning now to clear the air with all of this, and not even just clear the air, educate the people them, because I feel like the people them need a full education on what Rastafari really is. It's not no popular culture thing where you see all of the youth, them I don't know when I tell us say this is Rastafari. We need to set the tone straight. So the reasoning, I go steer it right there so and bring the people them in our joy and our heights, you know?
And Fire, I want to ask, when you talk about Rasta and Resistance, are you talking about this classic book here?
So we are talking about both of them because I tell you say it's like the book have a different energy. It's like we pick it up fire, and it's like it bring back so much different things to my mind. Because for the average youth, you know, who are heights up in it, you see that this book by Horace Campbell, the average youth who are heights up and realize that this is like the great starting point. This and groundings with my brothers, with the great Walter Rodney too. You see it? So it's like at the starting point where it show you and bring things in the right perspective and make you realize that this is not just something where you're going to go into and become a very popular thing. No, it is a culture, a traditional way of living, and Africanness we bring from the continent directly in the Western world. And this is the culture that maintain that. So it's not something where you can deviate from. Because remember, say, if you have Rastafari and you deviate from Rastafari one bit, and you make one slight turn off, it's not Rastafari anymore. And that's why that is what the book really guide you and show you about with all about historical context, political context, and we call it entertainment context. I would have liked to call it from spiritual side. It's like it entails entertainment and spirituality within the same chapters too, you know.
And I want to say this book here is the book that really opened my heavens, because this is actually how I was introduced to Walter Rodney. So and I found it randomly in New York. I was always read, you know, I was at a bookstore. I saw the red, gold, and green. I didn't know what it's about. So I said, let me get it. And I read it. And yeah, it's definitely a key part in the transition. I like to start things off with a comment you just made in regards to resistance, right? And what I believe or what I've seen, and this is all things, because even though we're talking about Rastafari, these things apply to most movements or most whatever things people are dealing with. But I noticed that some people like to emphasize the theology part and not the resistance part. Some people like to emphasize the dietary part and not the resistance part. You get what I'm saying? And some people want to emphasize the look. And I just think that that's a form of all right.
From a partiality.
Partiality, because what happens is this. There's no sacrifice. If you really think about it, there's no sacrifice when you just focus on the theological aspect. Bible and whatever spiritual interpretation you have of the Rastafari movement, right? Outside of having locks, and locks are acceptable now. It's not like you tried it back in the 60s where he's going to get one beaten or something. Right? It could pretty much get through. You could be in a corporate office right now with locks. The dietary aspect now, which is, I think, has a cult aspect to it, is where people, it's almost like they feel they're better than others just because they eat a certain way. You get what I'm saying? And it's not too much on the actual behaviors of their liberty, but on regards to what they eat. So basically, if a man eat flesh, he's just like this terrible person, and you know, they don't know what's going on. I think they take it a little too far with the diet. It's almost like some religious subgroup, the food aspect, right? But I say all this to say that none of this is actually dealing with resistance and rebellion. And when I say resistance and rebellion, I'm not talking about you going out in the street and doing stuff like on TV. I'm talking about real resistance in regards to your spending habits. Real resistance in regards to all aspects of your life. Because what I'm
Yeah.
noticing is that people want to be. Listen to this right here. People don't want the system to change. We need to do a reasoning on this, and nobody's still this line for me because let us do the reason on this. People don't want the system to change. They want their position in the system to change. And I definitely see it with the Ras, especially with not just the entertainers, but Ras, because it's like, how you burning out the system, but you have a Gucci belt? How you burning out the system, but you're trying to take a picture in your BMW or Mercedes? Not saying that one shouldn't have it, right? But the imagery you're putting forth by you taking a picture next to it and putting it on social media, subconsciously you're saying this is success. So you want all the trappings of the system that you're looking against. So it becomes a bunch of confusion in a sense because you're looking against the thing that you deeply want and you're demonstrating that you do want.
That one get caught up in a consumerism, and I feel like say is a different thing because you see this thing now is like ones that follow the generic pattern, and I tell you say them different, and that is where the young youth them we are chat forward in a Rastafari must learn. This is not a journey. It's not a journey. Our first time we even talk about the start with the food point what I make. The food originally was also supposed to be the resistance, because that is one of the main reasons why Rastafari, Hygiene and System started. We are dealing Italian, because we're not dealing with a diet neither. Because anything we have to do with diet, Rastafari and deal with it. Because original Rastafari reasoning we are dealing with now. So you see, the food was supposed to be a resistance because when time ones have them flesh, enough most of the ones them grow up, see them mother and them father, and all of these people are eat meat. So it was supposed to be the ultimate resistance for sure. So I'm not dealing with what you dealing with. So when me start my whole process now of eating food internally, me start show say me appreciate of the earth, me respect everything about life, and with me respecting everything about life, it's showing you that you do not respect everything about life. So that is the ultimate form of resistance. And we know what that come with, because when the Hygiene and System them, when the Ganguru Mirage come from all India and start bringing this thing where him go among salt, they're the ones them in the hill and see how them live, eating the salt, them not eating the flesh and them thing, then it start get introduced to NI people. It was a concept where we are show how ancient we are, how rebellious we are, because we're rebellious in our food pattern. Because I mind if everybody eat food, and I rebellious in our food pattern, and rebellious in how I eat. That means that the ultimate revolution that where nobody can say, all right, I am like this, because we know what the system said. The system give us meat, the system give us flesh to eat. When man is half flesh, but him still eating flesh and same love animal. So that is the first concept of resistance and rebellion. But it's like the ones them forget that, because you have a man now who don't eat meat, but him first thing, him a support all some different organization when it comes to food, where it's not even normal, because them organization, they don't even have a moral code and moral practice. And him just spend and buy all of these lavish things and tell us, all right, it is now from a concept now where him approach it as a vegan and him approach it as a commercialism thing. Him not approach it ital, because ital liberty means it's not necessarily just eating vegetarian food. It's thing where you cook natural within your zone, and yet all the part where you got bingy, some man have all them pot and man deal with ital vibration. So these are the things that we are talking about resistance, where most ones now get the resistance aspect of it, and it's that why so the reason when they start off at the beginning and say, some are deal with the food concept, some want to deal with the concept where they want to talk about probably the God concept or the religious concept. We soon get into that too.
Fire, hold on. I just want to throw this in there, right? Mm-hmm. You saying that, I was just thinking that one, people don't understand the different forms of rebellion. I think they're aware of this concept like rebel without a cause. So it's just like destruction. I think when they think about rebellion, they think about destruction, right? But we do have to acknowledge there seems to be someone dropped the ball in regards to educating the generation in regards to what you should rebel against. And the elders definitely, I don't know if the younger people want to listen to, so I don't know if they dropped the ball, but they definitely didn't teach about your consumption practices as a form of rebellion. I think that's the issue because they, I don't know, they feel, uh, based on people I've experienced and interacted with, they really feel that they're rebelling. They're in their minds they feel they're rebels, but in reality they're really supporting the system. So I think they need to be educated in regards to like what you just said, what actual rebellion is. You get fired. So like I'm not no like animal rights person. You know, I hope no one's offended. You get what I'm saying? But I'm not no like animal rights person. I'm not a you know, I don't think because I eat this way I'm gonna be immune to all diseases, anything. I don't think that either. But fire, the reason I eat like this is that it is full blown rebellion fire because once I clearly understood the sad diet, I started to read and understand what these corporations do. And my rock kid, ignorant, my being rebellious, the best thing I could do is avoid eating these things. Fire. I'm not supporting these things. And just keep it clear. That is the sole purpose of. I don't go around preaching food doctrine. I don't harass nobody about food because my eating habits is strictly. I'm not eating it fire because I know your intentions. I know what you're trying to do, and I'm not going to eat it. You get what I'm saying? And the next part I like about it is the discipline, but that's another conversation, you know.
Then that, but at the same conversation, really, when you think about it, you know, because it was the discipline after Rastafari agents and sistering will lead them to be so rebellious because even at the same food thing, when I want to say, oh, I tell I man have a discipline because when time man gone away in a town, where I find ital food? Him can't find ital food to eat. When him gone in the next side of the country, where am I go find ital food? So it's like the discipline instill now, so it make a man become more warrior. Like no, I see.
And he just have to hold that hunger till he reach.
Then him not for hold it.
Yeah.
Because if him can't hold it, then it's like him start straying now from the mission. But it's like say you find say enough ones and ones don't understand the sacrifice we take for even a Rastafari agent. Because we can't talk about enough different culture, Buddhists and enough different people. But we talk about Rastafari, our identity where we know in this time. For you and I. The sacrifice that these agents and sisters have to make towards what the system is. It's like them deviate from the system itself to form them own patterns. I would just talk about the food aspect because we're going to leave off of the part in a second too, but just to show the item. So even that in itself is resistance. Now when you start thinking about how ones and ones start leave from even, all right, we have the food, one start leave in regards to the mentality. I will talk about the book, you know. The book have a chapter where it has a camera. Just I look back on it again and it's like me I tell that it bring me to a different place. The book have a chapter where it said from Kwashi to Lion. Now we think about Kwashi. We know originally people who come from Ghana or speak Akan language know of Kwashi as a person born on Sunday. But in Jamaica, you know, on the plantation, it don't trickle down and it transform to a person who them see as fool or them would say stupid. Right? So on the plantation, when them have we know and we start think about Kwashi. See, we are say, all right, them there was the ones them who after a time them start calling ones who give in to master's will. So when them say master come now, them say, oh yes, master, and them act like them a fool because them say that's why the term come now and say play fool for catch wise. See? But Rastafari was who originate and change that whole thing in this modern day and age. Because even if you think about even the same maroon them, you know. Same way. Remember, say ones that still refer to them as that, kind of for them that still play that game on the plantation. Even though them rebellious same way, but them have played the game on the plantation when the master come around. But it's Rastafari come break that whole vibration. Because don't get me wrong, in a disclaimer again, Kwashi is a good thing because we know originally where it come from. That's a youth band on Sunday. So we name our people in Ghana and in West Africa. But in the context of what it was known in Jamaica as being fool, as them would call it. When Rasta come and say, oh, we're not playing a fool for catch, no wise. And I wise from the beginning. So it's like when the chapter, if not tell us, say, from Kwashi to Lion, now that simply means one start make people start rebel against the structure, the very structure we put them in place. So you see, if the structure tell I and I say a fool, I go come with some history and show you say I and I is no fool, is Rastafari come do that in a Jamaica and liberate the people them and tell them, say, yo, we're not gonna play no fool for catch wise, because you see, if we play a fool and we play a fool for 20 years, guess what now? For reverse that whole fool mentality, it's gonna take 40 years, double that amount, to make the people them come out of the foolery there with the people them inner. So it's Rastafari come do that and show them, say, I and I a lion. If you know when time man I deal with lion, but we say lion is the king of the jungle. Seeing ones that show you say we up on top of this thing, you know. So we must overstand, say, and we must be aware and we conquer this jungle. So we have to have different type of symbolism, which is one because the earth run by symbols, you know. So that is one thing we must realize, and that's why Rastafari have a lot of different symbols. Seeing, and we must know, so our identity, what we identify as a lion and we identify as lioness, that means that there is no one in this jungle that is higher than I and I. So we're not playing no more quashi mentality from the plantation. We go straight in our story. We go straight in all of these things to uplift I and I as a people. That was the ultimate revolution and the ultimate resistance towards the system. Is Rastafari come do that in a modern day Jamaica, and anybody question that don't know nothing about history in Jamaica at all, or even the Western world. May I tell you that?
No, reality meds, and even when we were reasoning with the Brigadier Chisholm, he spoke about the role of Rastafari in his own life in regards to bringing that black consciousness and all that. But it goes back again, Fire. It's like people want the trappings of society, right? And by doing so, that kind of dilute the rebellion, because the ancients that I spoke to personally and heard of, they were totally against society. All right, but this crew now, they say they're against society, but they want everything from society. I think that's where and the next thing too, Fire, there's probably a next tactic they use too that flopped out. The thing is that allowing to engage in certain aspects of society, because the early elders had no choice but to be outside of society because they weren't allowed to do anything in society. Well, with this crew now, since you're allowed to do stuff now, that kind of pushes towards that assimilation, you know. And who's to say if the elders were allowed to do certain stuff in society, they wouldn't behave the same way modern people are? Because the main purpose for their behavior is that they weren't allowed. They were not allowed to do anything in society. So we got to keep that into play when we're analyzing it, you know.
But you know the mystic even behind that though, where it can still even go around that. Remember said the art of Kingston is where the ultimate movement starts thriving. We start thinking about which part it did, the Dongle, Bakawal, and all of these places. What's the art of Kingston cross from Jonestown? That's where the hygiene them used to, the elders them used to all beat them drum and them thing them sip up all them chalice. It was the art of the city, you know. So it's not saying at once, because you see what the youth them now get now is that you can be a part of the society, you know, but if once the society see you, them supposed to know it's rebellion. And this is a reminder, because Rastafari is the ultimate reminder. Because when you see I in the city now, Chad, and I make some move now, yes, all right, Autarchii in the city, yes, in the system in regards to where everybody are dealing with. But when you see Autarchii, where you see I with some Miley Celeste, you see Malcolm X, and you see I but look ragged and rough. So you say, hey, the Ras. Because what the Ras remind you? The Ras remind you of your original self. But it's that where the youth them get falling now, it's like them start hide behind a shadow now. So when you see them now, you're not getting a reminder of your Africanness, you know, because them imagery are them persona where them bring off don't give you no reminder of your Africanness, you know, and that is not what Rastafari is, because original Rastafari trad, you know, it means say I don't look like them, I don't eat like them, I don't talk like them, I don't even sleep like them, fire, because I don't want to be like them and those and none at all, because what society present to I and I as a people is what Rastafari defines it to the highest level.
I just want to go back to what you said in regards to the Kingston thing, right? Yeah, remember, even with all those places that they were in the areas they used to gather at, they still weren't allowed to like get a regular job and partake in society. So you're still ostracized. And I noticed that throughout history, those who are ostracized tend to create their own community and their own culture. It's not saying that they don't want, and I think as a defense thing, it's like Christians looking out against certain things because they can't partake in it for whatever reason. Some is they're kept out by society, and some they're kept out by their own psychology. But it's like, I'm telling you, we just something to consider, like the fact that they're able to be in society and it's sweet them now. They don't want to do anything to lose it. So why? All right. So if a man have say a young Bridget or Ross and he work at the bank, right? And he paying his bills and he getting whatever respect in his community and he take care of his family. And he knows that the bank won't allow for a certain presentation. He's not going to do it. So all these factors go into the thing, but the whole point comes down to the fact that,
well, let me hear you say, man.